and look at the mirror, you can see every detail of it. Let me turn the camera around.
I had a scroll and I gave it to a mermaid.
What did it look like?
Like a fish.
I wish my camera was better. Dang it. What are those? Come on.
If you look at Nikola Tesla right there, you will notice that it doesn't look like the photos from the internet.
Welcome back to the new Codex Files series. Thanks for tapping in. Tonight, a lot of conspiracies, so do me the biggest favor and hit that smash the like button for me, smash the subscribe button and join the family if you like videos like this.
So Dolly Parton posted this thank you video, and the more I watch it, the weirder it gets. But here's a quick backstory before you even watch it. Taylor and Travis dropped $26 million on charity before their wedding, and $2 million of it went to Dolly's imagination library. So she then posts this video to say thanks. Fine, except she says this.
Hey, when you have your firstborn, can I have it? Because that is going to be one special baby.
Strange thing to say on camera, but that's not even the part that people locked onto. Because right when she says her firstborn, Han does this.
Hey, when you have
And while we're here, doesn't she look unusually young for someone that's been around since the 60s? People in the comments aren't just talking about the hand sign. Some are saying this isn't even Dolly, that she's been replaced. It's just strange that she would do something like this. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe she ages well. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
I think I found a glitch in the matrix. My TV's LED lights are like dying. But the reflection of my TV in the mirror, the LED lights are perfectly fine. You can barely see it because I'm in the dark, but this is the TV. It's a rainstorm. You can't see. But when I turn and look at the mirror, you can see every detail of it. Let me turn the camera around. TV's on, rainstorm, mirror. Watch, I'll turn the flash off. It's just so crazy. What? It's a matrix.
He knows he's the mermaid.
So mermaids are real?
Yes. I have had a vision where I was standing at a riverbank and I had a scroll and I gave it to a mermaid.
What did it look like?
Like a fish. And it was so crazy because your journey is an interpretation of what you dealt with in past lives. So eventually you're going to remember who people are. In living form, I knew who the mermaid was that I gave the scroll to. Me and him went to Rock Store at Lakeline Mall. He grabs a skull book and says, "You need to write in this." And I looked at him. I said, "So it is you." And he looked at me and he walked away. He knows he's the mermaid that I gave it to. And he comes back like clockwork every year.
So the missing fetus syndrome, there's a documentary called Extraordinary Seeding, where you have these women who they will go through this abduction experience, or some of them won't. They just think it's a dream demon or it's a nightmare. And they'll go get surgery or something. And their doctor, their surgeon's like, "Yeah, you've got a lot of scar tissue. Did you give birth?" "No." "It looks like, you were gestating a fetus."
Like a C-section?
No, it's just gone. That's what's even weird.
But
that's weird. Now, I could tell you that in the 16th century, they were having cases where women were possessed by beings that they were seemingly impregnated by at the same time. Isaac Luria would hold their wrists, and at times he would find two heartbeats in the same body. This is one of the most mind-blowing instances in demonology, where they're asking the woman, "What happened to you? Have you had a dream of an entity in the night?" And a lot of times it's like, absolutely. These women were actually starting to show physically as if they're pregnant. So they asked them, "Okay, is it possible you're not just possessed by the entity, but you're actually pregnant with it as well?" And it kind of changed the course of demonology. And then we would be dealing with would be an entity that would want to impregnate with a fetus and its own consciousness, which is the red rite. You find a woman, you impregnate them, and you take that fetus as your own avatar so you can prolong your own existence.
I wish my camera was better. I wish my camera was better. Dang it. What are those? Come on. My camera ain't worth shit. All right. Huh. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that wild? Unbelievable. And it's like it's just right there where you can just grab it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And right here is the original photo of Nikola Tesla. Now, if you look at Nikola Tesla right there, you will notice that it doesn't look like the photos from the internet. Let me show you something. So Nikola Tesla on the internet right here, that's what you normally see. Do you see his nose? Do you see how he has an Aryan nose right there in all of these statues and all of these things that have been published about Nikola Tesla? Every single Tesla documentary, every single book, every single everything. Let me show you that picture. That's the original photo. Let me zoom in right there. What's interesting is it seems Nikola Tesla seemed to have had a nose job. When you look up the person who created the nose job, his name was, I think, Jacques Joseph, and he had a tiny hat. And this is why I say it's so important to find the original of everything. And this is the original photo of Nikola Tesla. And as Laura just said, if he ever existed. That's another interesting thing, because he was Serbian, they say, but he was born in Croatia. And it's interesting because he also worked for Germany, and he was developing technology for Germany, and they said Tesla was a threat.
Oh, this is... Dude. Wow. Okay, turn it off. Wow, that's all spider web. Wow. Whoa.
That's where it's at?
Yes, sir.
I guess that pipe's gonna stay leaking.
Who was that person? We want to go there. This figure comes out of nowhere, plants both devices, and then disappears through a secret gate. This young black autistic individual who allegedly confessed to the crime told FBI that he mapped out his route for planting the devices by using Google Maps. There's two things that aren't on Google Maps, though. That secret gate, nor are the blind spots in Capitol Police cameras.
And the person who left these devices was clearly aware of where the blind spots were.
Tucker, this was a Capitol Police operation. Congressman Loudermilk told me himself the only way he was able to continue his investigation into January 6th is he had to agree not to investigate the Capitol Police.
Who would have access to the blind spots? Only someone.
Only the Capitol Police.
Right.
There's a famous video of the bomber waving at a cop car, then walks around the corner. Two Capitol Police cars pull up with their headlights on and blitz out the cameras that are faced down the street. And it was at that moment that the bomber ducked down into Ramsey Court.
I ain't get that, yeah. That's part of the building. They say they ain't never changed that light. They don't even know how. It ain't no way to change the fucking light. The light just worked for nothing. That's crazy, ain't it? Old world energy still working here. There's no way to change. There's no light, but they don't know how. It just works.
So here we are, Rio Grande. Look at that. Check that out. Just like a wasteland, look. That is, wow, look, there's all birds flying around. It's insane.
I have noticed a very strange behavior among the rich folk. I've been delivering since 2014, and I have never seen the rich folk prepping like they've been doing the last 2 months. They have buying a lot of them. I have been buying dry foods, buying generators. A lot of them have been trying, getting dry foods, rice, beans, all this stuff I've been delivering. And when I delivered, they're like, oh, put in a garage. One of this other guy, he has his whole entire garage built out. And when I asked him, why is he doing it? He's just like my gut feeling. So I don't know what they're being prepped for. Why are they buying so many of the emergencies? But they're buying a lot. They're prepping, and I deliver to people who are earning million plus. Some of these houses are $2-3 million, and they're prepping for something, not to leave or go anywhere, just to stay in. They're prepping. That's highly suspicious. What do you guys think? Leave in a comment.
Espíritu nos cierra la puerta.
Another thing that we choose in heaven is how long we're going to be here. Not everybody's supposed to live a long life. You got some people who choose a short destiny. They come for 21 years. They may only came to teach you a lesson. They may only come to teach me a lesson. They may have been born to be in a car accident to wake their parents up from the path that they was walking. So destinies are completely different. Some people have short ones. Some people have very long destinies. But you're not guaranteed to live out that destiny if your decisions are not in alignment with your highest purpose. So in other words, if I was sent here to be the next Dr. King, but because of poor character, low integrity, and bad decisions, I don't have to meet my destiny. And I could have chosen to be on earth for 100 years old, but because of my poor decisions, I check out at 30.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
We co-create our destiny. So when people say, whatever's for you, nobody can take from you, that's partially true. If you're on your path, nobody can take it from you. But sometimes we become our own worst enemies because of a lack of spiritual discipline, so you can destroy your own destiny. Ain't nobody got to do it for you.
Bet you haven't heard this. Here is an old photo of Erica Kirk's parents, Lori and Kent France. And here is a younger photo of them with a lady named Lilith Aquino. Now, Lilith Aquino is married to a Michael Aquino, who is quite literally the most prolific Satanist in our military. He specializes in psychological operations, and he actually founded the first ever tax-exempt, government-recognized satanic institutions called the Temple of Set. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that Aquino's house was raided in 1987, where they quite literally found videos of him performing satanic, ritualistic blank blank on children. And never once has any charges been filed against him because he's a CIA operative. Yeah. Here's an older photo of Michael and Lilith, just to throw in there. And also, a lot of people have suspicion that he might be their father, but I don't know. Either way, I'll just go ahead and end it with this clip.
Aquino and his wife. You are a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army. Correct. Now, and how does the Army feel about you being head of the Temple of Set?
The Army is not about my religion for the entire span of my Army career, which began in 1968. And there was a reasonable amount of curiosity, as there has been all the way along, that what exactly is this strange and unusual thing? And I've talked about it much the same way that I've talked here today on your show about it. And other than that, the Army has paid very little attention to it.
So you just go about your Army duties and it's fine. Okay.
Bones up the helmet is inside that bag over there.
No, it's not.
Yes?
They're triplets. Of course, the medium.
What's scaring me the most is the accessibility of quantum technology that used to only be available in secret to the highest levels of military security clearances. Like, this is just going to be on your shelf at Best Buy to just pick up and not have any understanding of what's truly inside of that thing and what it's capable of. You know, we talk all the time about if our smart tech is recording us and listening to us, and they'll say, okay, we're going to flip the little switch in your car so that your heated seats work, and you're going to pay us a subscription price of $18.99 a month. And if you don't pay your $18.99 a month, your heated seats don't work anymore. So in other words, we're not going to own anything.
Okay, if you want to see the water levels in Colorado, this is Dillon Reservoir. Are you sure we shouldn't be worried about the water levels?
Bro.
What do you guys think this is? And do you believe that there's an ice wall down near Antarctica? So Dr. Remy Demi, is one of the world's leading scientists, was just able last week, he said, to travel to the southern coast of Antarctica. And almost everybody hasn't been there. And this is the footagers that he captured. And he said what's crazy is the water leakage. He said that vent was like mechanical. He said it would open up, dump water out, and then it would close up and the water would stop coming out, which he said his leading hypothesis is there actually might be people living inside this, and that's some sort of waste that they're dumping in the water, because there is a lot of like Native American or legend that there's ice cousins down in Antarctica that live under the ice. And so now he's getting an AI LiDAR photon protein fiber beam machine. He's going to shoot it at the ice wall to see if he can see cavities or living objects living there. He said he'll text me the footage when he has it, and I'll share it as soon as I have it, but I'm curious what you make of it right now.
Because the illusion matters.
Why does it matter?
Because think about if truly tomorrow they came out and said, your vote doesn't mean anything. We've been running the election since the beginning of time. We kill people in broad daylight. Yeah, we did JFK. We did Charlie and we're going to keep doing whatever the hell we want. So F you.
You think something would actually happen?
Yeah. Because it's actually something Charlie said to me when we were traveling once. He said, one of his little pop quizzes, what is one thing that every civilization that has ever had slavery since the beginning of human history, what is one thing that every single one of those civilizations has in common?
I don't know.
I didn't know either. And he said, there were always more slaves than masters. And that always stuck with me. The few are able to get all of us to behave. So what they fear is a real revolution. That's why they always stoke the flames of internal unrest, because if all of us were in lockstep and we were like, let's go kill these pedophiles, let's go take care of business, that's the biggest threat to the system. A revolution that they don't control. So instead they create revolutions over stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
Trans bathroom rights. Keep them focused and arguing about stuff that doesn't matter at all. BLM, racial strife, Why isn't there a George Floyd Square? This is fodder for idiots. While they buy islands, they take up land, They destroy heritage. They rewrite history. 20 years from now, they'll say, you already heard, I think, Jerry Seinfeld say Palestine doesn't exist. He's a man of the future. They'll rewrite history. They'll say they were the victims. It all started on October 7th. And they'll wipe away entire identities. I mean, good for the people in Albania who are standing up to the Israeli settlers right now. Don't know what their plan is there, but something's going on. And that's their biggest threat. So they have to get you to believe in the illusion of elections because you have to think you can change it and that your voice matters.
Sis, you broke your arm, not your leg, so get up and run. It looked like he was gonna make a lampshade out of you.
Fruit fly. They used CT micrographs, X-ray micrographs, okay, and they scanned the fly, and they created a digital version of it, okay, with 87 joints and looking exactly like the real one, okay, but in a digital version, and put it into a physics engine. It's the same physics engine used by DeepMind and OpenAI to train for robotics research and all this stuff, okay? In that simulation construct, okay, they simulate gravity, wind, all the processes like in a real world, sort of like as realistic as possible. And they put the fly in there, a digital fly. And then they took that brain emulation from Flywire project and then loaded into the digital fly. And when they did that, what you see here is the fly waking up in the simulation and behaving like a real fly, walking about, grooming, looking for food, responding to, they created virtual odors, they created virtual foods, all sorts of things, and the fly started to behave just like a real fly, eating food, searching for food, responding to any danger or anything. And they could map, they could look at the brain in the real time, like how the brain was responding, you know, they could map because that brain emulation. But the point is that here is it's a start. It's a start. This is the insane thing. There is no training. There is no code line. There is no machine learning. There is no AI. There is no data training. There is nothing. They just loaded the brain structure into a simulated fly and they started to behave like a real one.
Is this thing recording? Look at this thing. They're glowing on the damn camera. That's amazing, if I do say so myself.
What would be your conclusion of Afterlife?
Everybody, when we die, we lose a small amount of weight. Science can't account for it. It's not liquid, it's not gas. It just vanishes from our bodies. And if you're filming, you're gonna see a light leave the body. We believe that's actual spiritual energy that has weight and mass. What happens is, from what we've been able to see, one spirit will start to move towards the light. Everybody talks about the light. They'll move towards the light, they'll go through the light, they'll move into the other side, they'll be able to come and go as they please. That's an intelligent spirit. The second spirit we deal with is an earthbound spirit. And what they'll do is the same energy will leave the body, it'll move towards the light, but it'll make the decision not to move into the light. It'll try to go back to the body, but the body's not receptive. You can't go back into something that's not alive. And they'll place themselves in what would be the middle ground, purgatory. It's like living a nightmare. They just go over everything that went wrong in their life. So when you talk to the intelligent spirit and you talk to the earthbound spirit, you say, earthbound spirit, why don't you just cross over? You know, and they say, no, fire and brimstone, can't do that. I did too many things wrong in my life. I didn't live a good enough life. I can't possibly go through. If you talk to the intelligent spirit will tell you everybody ends up in the same fucking place. We all end up on the other side in the same place. The punishment is the middle ground.
DFW, is this a trap? I came to use the restroom, but I'm scared. There's like an exit over there. No, we are definitely going to another stall.
My experience is that they basically forked my brain. So they did something that basically changed my perception of me in general. And I see the behind the scenes. I see extra things that most people that I speak to, including very experienced psychonauts, don't see. which is the machinery that comes into the room that does the thing. It changes the different energetic centers, almost like they punch a code into you, like, like, and then I can see this thing, almost like a thing is supposed to go over your head. It's translucent, like the Predator, and it just kind of comes and sits. The movement is super coherent. So, like, the thing comes and it's like augmented reality. And then it vibrates in a particular frequency. It's always the same thing. And then after they put the address in you, that thing, that vibration now takes you to that address. It's just like now you're there. And I see these things, like I can see this mic that clearly. Essentially, the position that I'm now occupying is that my null hypothesis simply flipped. So now my conviction that we're living in a simulation, that these beings are actually talking to us all the time, they're doing it in different ways, all of these things are more tangible to me than what most mainstream scientists believe about their main kind of axiomatic perception of the world.
The Book of Enoch mentions a secret meeting with the fallen angels on Mount Hermon. A lot of people don't realize that the Book of Enoch is taken seriously by the elite because the United Nations has a literal base on Mount Hermon.
Yeah.
So like
crazy.
when you're looking at these books, like the Book of Enoch, this isn't fiction. They're detailing real locations that the government is involved in capturing. I remember reading this passage in the Book of Enoch, and this is what really changed my walk forever. There was a secret meeting with the fallen angels, and they created a pact. This pact, by the way, it's a real artifact that was recovered. In this pact, they wrote on a tablet, because they were going to suffer eternally, they made an agreement that they were going to work as hard as possible to take as many humans to hell with them. And when I read that, something shifted in my brain. I realized, like, this isn't a joke. There is a literal war against us as humans, and there are angelic beings with a lot of knowledge who are a lot smarter than us. Their greatest desire and their greatest unification is to take us to hell with them. When I read that, my faith changed.
The portal that I came to last year. See, I'm on the other side of it. Whoa. Look at that. What are these carvings? Those are not just rock formations. Look. Oh my God, I'm gonna go closer. Look at this. I don't care what people say. Look at this. This is not just rocks. Look. What do you see? Look at that. Look at the top. That's where I came through. Another whole wall. Oh yeah, I'm going in. I'm going in for sure. We going in. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of this dude named Rolf Landauer? He has this theory that if you weighed a hard drive after you put data on it, it would weigh more than when it was empty. And his theory was that every single hard drive server farm around the world right now, he thinks that all the data stored would be like a kilogram or less. But the rate of data increase that we accumulate each year is like 25%. Somebody did the math there and said in 340 years, we are gonna have the mass of the moon on the surface of the earth in data stored on hard drives. What? And the way he lays this all out is that one, that energy can never be created or destroyed, and the other one, entropy always increases over time, meaning disorder. Then there was this other dude, Claude Shannon, who came up with the theory that data transmission with binary bits, ones and zeros. So when a computer is blank, it's very low entropy because it's all ones or it's all zeros. When you add data, it goes 1 0 1 0 1 0. It's high entropy. So what happens when you erase that hard drive? The energy has to go outside of the hard drive. But if you crack open a hard drive, you can't see that mass. It's electromagnetically indetectable. So he says, what other kind of mass do we know of that's electromagnetically indetectable? It's dark matter. So if dark matter is mass, you could then say that dark matter is a computational cloud of ones and zeros. And our consciousness is an interface to that gives it meaning. The same way a computer screen gives meaning to all the ones and zeros on the hard drive.
Ôi 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 đều đạp kìa không? Ôi ôi, người có tàu lột tay à?
Suggests that some of what we're witnessing as orbs is projected consciousness. And that would also make sense as to why it can become anthropomorphic. It's a hand around the neck. Or even with Chris Bledsoe, he was being stalked by somebody that had, he said, what did he say? He said, I was in the forest and I heard the footfall of a man walking behind me. And he turns around and it's just an orb. So a lot of these orbs, I believe, to be projected consciousness. And I think the USSR and our federal government stumbled over that concept, where you can project your consciousness into another environment, and that person will perceive your consciousness based upon how you intend them to.
Whoa.
Joe McMoneagle, right? Joe McMoneagle, a remote viewer, remote viewed himself into the jail cell of a terrorist. And what the terrorist observed as projected consciousness looked nothing like Joe McMoneagle.
It was an orb.
Yeah. It was a translucent being that floated off the ground.
Holy fuck.
So what we're dealing with is now what we're dealing with here is a technology of consciousness to where I could, theoretically project my consciousness into your environment, either by virtue of that biofield, right? I could literally perform a ritual on you by virtue of my projected consciousness, and I could tell you I'm a gray alien, and you'll wake up thinking you're abducted, which is what this individual did, the mother, and the family's there, and they're like, Mom, you didn't leave. You stayed here the whole time. So what I believe, and this is just my current position, is that a lot of what we're dealing with in the abduction phenomenon is the end result of projected consciousness of conjurers.
This is where it gets really scary. We've been looking into these data centers. Most of these data centers are serviced by Checkpoint, which is an Israeli cybersecurity firm, and their CEO went on camera and a news station to say the only way to protect the First Amendment is to limit it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and so everything that invades our rights as a citizen is brought under the guise of safety. And the thing is, there's a slight truth to that. Like, is China more safe than the United States right now? Yeah, I don't think in their major cities, they have a Memphis or a St. Louis or Chicago issue, but they're also, you can't rebel, you can't say your opinion. So like, at what level do we want to trade our safety for freedom? And, or vice versa. And I think that's the continuum that we always have to balance. And I think if our government had a wonderful, immaculate reputation of taking care of our people and not doing all this nonsense, it'd be easy to trust. But you know that as soon as you give up that initial inch, they take it a mile.
So Johns Hopkins did a study. You can look it up. They used magic mushrooms in an appropriate setting and container, which is the most important thing. And I think about 75% of the people who did one-time psilocybin, literally psychedelics, came out of it. And I think like 75% said it was one of the most 5 meaningful experiences of their entire life. And the more meaning they attributed to it, the more their depression and anxiety was cured, and trauma. To the point where I forgot like a very, very high number no longer reported PTSD. This is the power of psychedelics. So in the 70s, when Nixon declared a war on drugs, remember all those teachers there to keep kids off drugs? What are you talking about? Everything that actually decreased consciousness, alcohol, was made legal. Keeps people in a frequency fence. So it keeps people away from the psyche The psyche means soul, which is the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, which is the superconscious mind Freud talked about. So then when Nixon declared the war on drugs, he literally said, everything that keeps people in the 3D fence and low emotion is legal. Anything that keeps people in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, which is the soul, the psyche, psychedelics, which connects people to the soul, which literally treats the root cause, which MDMA psychotherapy, 80% who did it 1 to 3 times no longer qualify for PTSD. It cures the root cause, which doesn't make money, doesn't keep people sick, doesn't feed the system. And the health company, the health system is owned by people who, it's a sick model. They want to keep people sick. So therefore they made psychedelics 100% illegal to disconnect people from their soul. So my question to you as a physician would be, more importantly, what does your soul say? Why did you originally go into medicine? Did you really want to help people at the root? Or did you want to keep people sick in a low frequency so they keep coming back to you so you can keep giving them medicine and feed the system? Sit with that.
Guys, we're in a private room.
Oh my god.
Really?
Oh my god. Hello. Yeah.
Everything is fun and games until they confuse the brake with the accelerator.
You may think that God is God, but what if he's not?
But I gotta ask you, big homie, have you been prepositioned? You've been in Hollywood a long time.
Man, I know where this is going.
You've been around these circles a long time. Have they prepositioned you, man?
Hell yeah, bro. I got prepositioned about 2 weeks ago.
Is that why you're here?
Yes.
Quickly.
Listen, bro.
How do they go about it, though?
Bro, I get a random phone call. It's somebody who I haven't spoke to in a long time. He said, man, we're trying to get you to come over, bro. We see what you're doing. I got the people I want you to meet. And then I get like this weird feeling before I met up with them. And like when I got to the restaurant, I seen the little patches they had on the little pins they had.
What pins are these? Like a badge kind of thing?
Seen the little insignias on their rings. And I asked them, I say, man, in the Masonic Bible, who is God? Is God the devil? You know what this dude said to me? He said, if you never heard the other side's story, you may think that God is God, but what if he's not? And I just looked at him like, man, when I looked around, there was about 20 people looking at me. I'm looking like all of these motherfuckers is here, all under the same act.
We came into agreement with the demonic trinity, 1973. Abortion, Moloch, animal worship, Baal, orgiastic delights, Ashtoreth. George Mason, the father of the Bill of Rights, said, as nations cannot be rewarded or punished in the next world, so they must be in this. By inevitable chain of causes and effects, providence punishes national sins by national calamities.
Okay.
The same year that we declared open season on preborn humans, we gave more legal protections to sea turtles and porpoises, which, by the way, fulfilled G.K. Chesterton's prophetic warning that wherever there is animal worship, there will be human sacrifice.
Wow.
Happened in the same year, Josh.
Gosh, that's crazy. I've never.
What else happened?
Tell
the
me.
Supreme Court removed their obscenity laws, thereby allowing the widespread legal distribution of pornography for the first time in American history.
That all happened in 1973?
The same year.
And that's a wrap on this episode, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me, smash the subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.